Hey Mike, it's Jim. I wanted to take a minute to make your review video. When I make these, you may have heard me say before, but I really enjoy shooting from the hip and looking at your website for the first time, so you get a more honest feedback. Man, one of the things I recommend a lot is that people have this hero image, this really big image on the site, and that's the predominant design element of the site. You've done that, and that's really, really great. So the most important real estate on the site is before the fold, so before people scroll down. I'm sure you probably are aware of that, but it's great that you've captured that in a good image. So the thing is, when people come to your site, they're going to immediately ask themselves, you've got just a couple seconds to convey what the brand is about, what your brand is about, and if it's for them. If you don't convey that quickly, they'll leave. There's also another issue of making sure that the traffic you're sending to your site is on point and well targeted for your brand. Couple bits of feedback with this image. So I love the idea that you have the image and that you're on track with this. A couple things. You need to convey in words and in imagery what it is that your brand does. You have this life weighs you down, and instead of having that there, our sandals won't. So even if sometimes your life weighs you down, our sandals won't. I would have or experiment with something that is in words, something sandals, right? Describe your brand in an emotionally charged way, emotionally charged words that says what you do. Such and such sandals or something like that, where it's immediately obvious in words. Because it took me a minute to read this, and some people just don't have that attention span to figure that out. And you would think that this is a small detail, but it will make a difference. And then also I'd experiment with the different picture. This picture is fine, but it takes me a minute. Like my first thought was, oh, it's a clothing company. Yeah, or maybe jewelry, right? This lady's wearing a lot of jewelry. It took me a minute to realize that you're selling sandals. I think a really cool image would be, again, this size, but imagine like a bunch of ladies' feet just standing here on the beach, right? And they have like kind of this sort of a pose, and you just see boom, 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 sandals all across. They're filling the screen. Or maybe it's like from the knee down, something like that. Just experiment with a different image and A/B test it and see how you do. The cool thing about the image background is you can very easily experiment and change that. I think that can make a difference in really making it very, very clear in the beginning what it is that you do. If you go to my blog, it's blog.groovejar.com, click on this first one. It's how to boost your conversion rate with a killer first impression. I do a deep dive here and talking about first impressions and what you can learn from some really good sites and also some bad examples as well. But you'll find this useful and hopefully helpful to you. Just get a little bit more information about that. But yeah, so I think that's all I have to say about the place here before the fold. Let me scroll down a bit and take a look. This looks good. I mean, your site is good. It's nice and clean and well laid out. Good quality images. Excuse me, which is really good. Let's I'm sorry. Excuse me. Let me click on a specific product and see how that looks. So I don't know why that's not loading. I'm clicking on this and it's not loading. So you might take a look at that. I don't know if it's supposed to. I'm guessing it is, but it's not loading for me. Okay, we'll click on one of these. So one thing I wanted to point out is, I don't know if you're on Instagram or focusing there, but that's been a really good marketing play for a lot of people. Instagram is huge and getting bigger every day. And there's this app, I don't recall what it's called, but let me show you how it works. You can search on the App Store for it. But basically, it turns your Instagram feed into a sellable feed. So if you look at this example site, if you click on these products, they can actually add to cart from your Instagram, which is pretty sweet. And you'd be able to do a really great job with this with your brand, with your shoes. That'd be pretty great. Okay, quick view. How to tie video. That's good that you have a video there. No, so I'm on Firefox. So some things just aren't working for me. I'm clicking on this and it's not loading. So I don't know if it's just my browser or what, but there we go. So in the little small view, it wouldn't load. But this is great. Really great that you have a video. That's awesome. So on the product page, where did oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Sorry. Now we got it. Okay. Yeah. So one thing to really keep in mind on the product page is most people just describe the specifications, the features of the product, and not the benefits for your client. So think when you write your copy about one specific person, your ideal client that's buying this. What are the emotionally charged words that you can use to describe your product and how it relates to them? What are the benefits to them? Pairing those benefits with emotionally charged words that sell, and you can Google this stuff, but that makes a big difference. Like look at this example. Simple hand washing gel. You can pause the video and read, but look at this. One whiff of this soothing sea scent, and you may be inspired to stand on the bow of a sailing ship with your arms outstretched like a bird flying toward the shore. Like, this conveys emotion. I'm standing at the beach and the feelings that I get from that, and it's soap. So that helps them sell that a lot more effectively than just listing the specifications only. So consider that. Consider how you can increase the verbiage and copy of the benefits to your ideal client right to one person, and see how that does for you. Related item suggestions is great. Reviews are really, really critical. And I know it takes time to do. I get that. But as you grow, and I would definitely recommend encouraging and even incentivizing your customers to leave reviews, because that's so critical. Make sure they're displayed on the page. I mean, when I go to Amazon, for example, if something has no reviews, I don't buy it. If it has bad reviews, I don't buy it. My number one criteria for a buying decision is the reviews. So as soon as you can, getting reviews populated on these different products will be a really good thing for you. That'll be huge. Okay, let me take a browse. This is good. I'm a huge fan of putting the faces of the people behind the brand here. So people connect with people and they buy from people, not from brands, not from companies. So you mentioned down here from all of us at MF&A, and then your names. It would be great to have a picture of the four of you guys together, smiling, like looking at the camera. That conveys trust and credibility, and conveys that you're going to stand behind your brand. So the copy is good. It's great that you have other images, but consider putting a picture of the four of you here if you can get that, and consider the positive benefits that would come from doing that. I think it's well worth it, and I definitely recommend doing that. Okay, so let's go back to the home page. The last thing that I wanted to mention is, if you think about it, the most valuable thing that your visitors bring you is their attention. That's the most valuable commodity that they bring you. And when you collect email addresses on your site, you have the ability to re-engage them. If they visit your site and leave without you collecting an email, then they're just gone. You have no ability to proactively re-engage them. So I strongly recommend setting up a pop-up or some sort of an app that you can collect emails. My company, the blog I showed you, GrooveJar, we have one called Groove Urgent, and it collects at over 10%, has a countdown timer, and works really well. Another great company is SumoMe. Another one is Privy. There's several out there, but the point is implementing something like that and collecting emails and then working to nurture those leads along the buying funnel and convert them. You'll see a huge difference in your conversions, especially with the quality of your site. You definitely will. So I recommend getting that set up as a priority, and just experimenting with it and just seeing how it goes. And yeah, I mean, if you get a decent amount of traffic, that's going to be huge for you. Let me read your Facebook post real quick to see if there's any other questions you had. In content marketing and giveaways, influencers, things like that. So, content marketing, it works. I mean, it's not dead, but it's tough in certain niches, and yours is one that would be a little bit difficult to do because I don't know. I wouldn't be interested in reading a blog post on sandals. Maybe some women would, but it's kind of a difficult niche to do that. I think where you may have better success, or at least where I'd experiment first, is in influencer marketing. There's a software that we use at a couple of my companies called Gleam.io, and it's set up to manage contests. And I don't have any affiliation with them other than that I've just used their software. But basically, people enter to win giveaways, and you promote these, and they enter by different means. Email address, which is huge, collecting their email, or they can share it on Facebook. They can share it via email to somebody else, Twitter. They can like your page, all these different things that they can do, and they get sort of tickets or entries. And that's been really, really, really big for us. And one of my companies is Wet Shave Club, and we do giveaways there, and that's been really effective in just growing our list. And then you can send like a consolation prize to them as well. So definitely something to look into. And also influencer marketing is big, reaching out to people that are in your niche that have followings, blogs or YouTube videos or whatever. They may do review videos or whatever the case is, communicating with them and seeing if you can send them some product in exchange for a review. If you start with the smaller ones, you shouldn't have to pay. You should just be able to do a barter system. Keep in mind that when you talk to them, make sure that you're talking in terms of their interest. What's in it for them? They're growing their brand. They're growing their followers. They gives them content, whatever. So when you pitch them, make sure that you're talking in terms of their interest. But that's an effective tool as well. And as you get some experience with that, you can potentially move up towards paid spots with like Instagram influencers or something like that as you get a bit more experience in that arena. But all right, Mike, I want to be mindful of your time and not make this too long. So please do let me know if you have any specific questions or want to take a deeper dive on anything else. Take care.